Welcome to ASM Live from Microbe 2017 in New Orleans. I'm Vincent Racaniello, and today I'm going to be speaking with Agar artist Caitlin Saha. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
If you have any questions in the audience, there's a microphone somewhere, and if you're listening online at Facebook, you can post a comment in the Facebook comment thread, and we'll try and get to your questions as we go along. Now, Caitlin's name is actually spelled C-A-H-A-K, so I did a great job pronouncing it, right?
You did. You got it perfectly.
With absolutely no prompting whatsoever.
No, none.
So what's the origin of Saha?
It's Czech, so very short and very hard to say.
And so did your family come from Czechoslovakia a long time ago to the U.S. or recently?
A long time ago. My dad's side is, both sides of his came from very close areas and
Right.
somehow ended up in the same area in Wisconsin.
So you are a medical laboratory scientist at the Wisconsin Diagnostic Laboratories,
Correct.
right? Have you always lived in Wisconsin your entire life?
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up there?
Wauwatosa, which is very close to Milwaukee.
Went to high school and college as well?
Yep, I went to high school in Wauwatosa and I went to college at UW Milwaukee.
So let's talk about a little bit, before we get into your art, let's talk a little bit about MLS, Medical Laboratory Scientist. How does one become such a thing?
Well, I didn't really even know the full extent of it until I was well into college already. And what's funny is a lot of my classmates had said the same thing. Because, you know, unless you're already in a similar profession, people always ask, like, what is this? How do you get into it? And the answer we always gave was we kind of just fell into it. I didn't really know anything about labs or lab work. It's always a behind the scenes thing. I knew I liked science. I knew I wanted to do something with science. I enjoyed forensic science. And my advisor at my school didn't really know where to put me. And she's like, why don't you try this? And I did and loved it, and I've been there ever since.
So what do you have to do to become an MLS? What kind of training is involved?
So the MLS is a 4-year degree, just undergraduate, and then you take board certification afterwards. And then there is also a 2-year program, MLT, so Medical Laboratory Technician, which essentially covers all the same topics as MLS, just a little less involved.
Oh, so partway through your undergraduate years, you could switch into that program. Is that right, how it works?
I don't think I could switch down to it.
But you went to a separate training to do this, or was part of your undergraduate education?
This was my undergraduate, yes.
Okay, so you were already in a college, but when you first went, you hadn't decided to be an MLS, right?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know, and then they pretty much
They
were
put
like,
your advisor was, but
Yeah.
so you have to have a school that has such a program in it to begin with, right?
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
if people are interested in how they could get into such a career, they have to first make sure they know about it and find a school that has a program.
Yes, and a lot of them do. Usually
Right.
they will have some kind of biomedical sciences program, clinical
Right.
laboratory science program. Unfortunately, a lot of the schools are starting to cut them, which is very unfortunate. But a lot of schools still do offer really good programs.
Why are they cutting these programs?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I'm very shocked at some of them that I've heard so far.
Yeah.
Like UW-Madison has a huge health program in school, and they cut their MLS program.
So as part of the training that you went through, I assume you have to take a lot of science courses
Yes.
as part of it? And is there also a practical aspect where you actually learn laboratory techniques?
Yes, so once you start getting into your junior and senior, there's a lot of labs, a lot of clinicals. We actually do have to do a clinical rotation, so you will have your actual classes at the university, and then I would have to go do my clinicals at an actual hospital lab.
Right. So out of this program, you got a job right away?
I did, yes.
And so Wisconsin Diagnostic Labs, is that affiliated with a hospital?
It is, yes.
Okay, so tell us, on a daily basis, what do you do?
So we are a very high volume lab. Not only do we do work for our own hospital, which is a level 1 trauma center, but we also do work for other outside clinics, additional, there's 2 other hospitals out of state that we do work for. We do a lot of research kind of stuff. We work with the Medical College of Wisconsin doing kind of research studies and validations. So I personally just do more plate reading bench work. So I will work up the cultures, look at them, say what's growing, what's not, what's there, what's...
Okay, so you come in the morning and you've got your plates ready to look at and decide what's there, and you fill out reports and so forth, and you move on. You drink a lot of coffee as well.
Lots.
So that brings us to Agar Art.
Yes.
When did you start doing this? How long ago was it?
I did my first one when I was in college, actually. Yeah. I just thought it would be funny just because the media we were working with was a really dark red, and when you would grow E. coli on it, it grew like a really pretty metallic green.
Right.
And I thought it was pretty and thought it would be cool to make a Christmas tree.
So at the time, had you heard of anyone doing such a thing as Agar Art?
No.
So then, did you keep doing it, or did it kind of go away till you went to your job?
No, I did. Not to the extent I do now. I kind of kept it to myself. I would do things for the holidays. So like every holiday I would try and do something new. And
So in college, though, you must have had access to a lab to be able to do this, right? It's not something you do at home.
No, definitely not.
Although there are lots of do-it-yourself scientists now who might be able to do such things, right?
You could. I probably wouldn't recommend this, though.
Yeah, don't try this at home.
Yeah,
right?
no.
Right. And so you mentioned that you often do things at holidays. What other kinds of inspirations do you get for your work?
Well, now I'm actually getting a lot of requests from people.
Nice.
Which is good. So otherwise, I just try and think of mostly just for what like colors I have to work with.
Right.
I'm very limited. So I just kind of what I have and what I think I could make that would be fun.
Okay. I think that's a cool thing that people are giving you requests. So these are not portrait requests, right?
Yeah, I haven't done a portrait yet.
But there are people say, I want a Christmas tree or a pumpkin or something.
I had
like
someone
that.
ask me, they wanted me to make something. He wanted to ask his girlfriend to the prom.
Will you go to the prom with me? Something like that.
Yeah, he said
cool.
he wanted to say I love you and then his initials.
I love you in bacteria.
Yep.
So we have some of your works of art here, and thought we could go through and you could tell us a little bit about them. The first one must be a Mother's Day.
Yes, this was just this past Mother's Day, which I had never done anything for Mother's Day.
You never did anything for your mom?
No,
you didn't say that.
Now I am a bad daughter. No. I haven't done anything for my dad yet either, so it's fine. So I don't know. Just Mother's Day. I don't really know what else you could do. I mean, what do you do for Mother's Day? Buy your mom flowers. Flowers are kind of generic.
Yeah.
I myself enjoy tattoos, and I kind of like the old school style of that. So I thought, how funny would it be to do the kind of stereotypical heart mom thing?
So what's the agar, the really bright red agar? What's that called?
So this agar, it's this one in particular is a Mueller-Hinton blood. We actually use it for susceptibility testing. The reason it is red is because it does have blood in it.
Mm-hmm. And you picked it because it's a nice color for this particular work of art, right?
And because it was expired and we were going to throw it out, and I had it to use.
Okay, so then we have two different colors. Are they two different bacterial species?
Yes.
What are they?
So the ribbon in the words would be Staph aureus, so just a coag-positive staph. The heart was made from a serratia, and then the leaves are strep pneumo.
So the heart, you said, is serratia. So inside it you have or is it just the outside?
Just the outside,
it's just a little bit red. It's not.
Yes.
Okay, serratia. What were the dark leaves again?
Strep pneumoniae.
Strep pneumoniae. Mm-hmm. So are these particular colors because of the plate, or has nothing to do with the kind of plate it is?
That's just typically how they will grow on any kind of blood agar.
Got it.
It would be just their like standard textbook colors.
Now, how do you actually draw the designs? What do you use for that?
Usually I will just use a sterile swab.
A swab, okay.
So I will just take like a saline and make a suspension. So I mean, it's essentially like painting.
And the cultures you use for this are stock cultures that you have in the lab, or these are actual patient isolates?
They're from patients.
They're from patients. So whatever you've got that week, you could work
yeah,
with.
if I find fun colors, I keep them for myself.
I know you wrote on Instagram that you like to use broader things because the small ones, your hands shake too much because of the caffeine, right?
Yes, I get coffee hands. So
coffee hands.
People ask if I use loops, and I prefer swabs because the fine lines get a little
hard.
Shaky.
Let's look at another one. So this must be St. Patty's Day, is that right? And what's, is the actual agar green, or is that the bacteria?
Yes, it is. It starts out green, and it will change this media in particular depending on what's growing on it.
So what is the hat made of? What species?
So I love when people ask me with some of these because sometimes I don't know. Like I said, I take a lot of these from actual patient cultures that I work up.
Okay.
And a lot of times it's non-significant bacteria that we wouldn't do anything. Like these two were taken from stool cultures. So stool cultures are full of bacteria.
Yeah.
And I needed something green and I needed something orange.
And again, you used a swab to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And what about the beard, I guess that is?
That was kind of this, I mean, I did it exactly the same, just...
Uh-huh. And that happened to turn red, right? Mm-hmm. So, but you don't know what that is, right?
Probably some kind of E. coli.
Interesting. All right, what do we have? Oh, so this one I picked because the morphology of the colony is pretty cool. It's not really an agar art, right?
No, but this is something that I actually love doing more than the agar arts. Mm-hmm. I like the natural art of what I do because I personally think it's all very nerdily beautiful.
It's beautiful, for sure. What is this, do you know?
So this is it is a yeast. It's a Canada albicans. We hold our fungal cultures for 4 weeks. So after they've been growing for 4 weeks, they tend to get really big and really weird looking. Yeah. So this is just how they grow out naturally.
It's beautiful. And what's the agar that's dark colored there?
So it's also dark now just because it is so old, like I said, after 4 weeks. But it did start out red. It has blood in it, just like the other one. And
I love these bats. This must be a Halloween one, right?
Yes, this was for Halloween.
So there's a little more painting involved here, right?
Yeah. This was a little more tricky.
And the blue agar, why is it blue? Is that a special kind of agar as well?
This was the same agar as with the St. Patrick's Day one. Mm-hmm. So it did start out green, but just from the way the bacteria can actually change the color of the agar when it grows.
And what are the bacteria here?
That is salmonella.
Wow. And this was also done with a swab?
Yes.
So I guess an interesting question is when you're doing this, you can't really see what you're painting, right?
It can be kind of tricky. Yeah.
So you just have to you see a little impression on the agar sometimes, right?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what I'm doing, if it is something I'm trying to be a little more technical with, I will take a clean swab or loop and almost trace it first, so we can kind of see where I'm going.
I see.
Otherwise, you can't see anything.
So how often does it turn out totally differently from what you expected?
A lot.
A lot, but that's part of the fun, right?
Oh yeah, there's been some hilarious bloopers in the past.
Do you have a blooper series of photos that you don't share?
I did have some on my Instagram from when I was trying to use molds to make Christmas trees, and it really didn't work because they just grew everywhere.
So this is a cool spider and spider web. Is this a Muller-Hinton plate as well?
No, this is an XLD. It's another selective media that we use for stool cultures. So this is also a salmonella. That's
beautiful. And this was a snowflake, I guess. And this one I picked because you have a white plate this time. What's that about?
So this is a Spectra agar. We use it for screening for MRSA. So MRSA will grow blue, as we have on here, and any other colonies will just grow white or colorless. Okay,
so this was a known isolate. You had identified it already. Mm-hmm. And you did this in the winter, and I bet it had snowed that day, right?
Probably.
And then we have Halloween. This is pretty cool, 2 pumpkins. This is, looks like the bacteria are covering most of the plates. How do you do that?
This is kind of the opposite of what I normally do. So I just, these are on Granada plates using another screening one we do for Group B strep. They grow that really nice bright orange, and so instead of tracing where I want it to grow, I just kind of went around it.
I see. So you spread the culture around the eyes and the mouth and so forth. You didn't cut it out after it had grown?
No,
okay.
the agar is still there.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Oh, this is a cool one. A fuzzy bunny. What's that one made of?
That is an old one. That is a mold. It is Trigophyton rubrum, and I always laugh when people. This is so old. I don't even like this one. Everyone brings up this picture.
I don't know. I think it's pretty cute. And how did you do the eyes and the nose? You just poked them out there?
Yeah. That I just had a sharp stick.
That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And it looks to me that there's some.
Yeah, the agar dried out. So.
Okay. And this one, I think, is your Agar Art entry. Is that right?
Yes.
Which you just posted today.
Correct. This was for the contest. I finally submitted this year.
It's beautiful. And 2 different bacteria again is what are they?
3 of them on there.
3?
So the leaves are the strep pneumonia again. The white for the bird was just a coag-negative staph, and then the beak was a serratia.
So how many have you made roughly so far? Do you know?
I don't even know anymore.
Hundreds? Hundreds?
Probably not hundreds, but a lot.
So from talking to you, it's interesting that in many cases you don't know what the actual microbes are. And I would have thought you would always have a defined way of doing it. That's not the case, right?
I generally know what they are, but as for some of them, as far as like exact species,
you don't know. So how often do you do this? Once a week, once a month? Do you have any idea?
It varies. I mean, honestly, it's just a matter of when I have time.
So you could do a couple in a day easily, right? They don't take very long to streak out, I guess?
No.
Maybe, and then the incubation. What's the longest incubation you would have to do?
Typically, I just do overnight, so 18 to 24 hours, and that's it.
I noticed on your Instagram that you had one at least of multi-plate. It was a turkey, I think, made of multiple plates.
Yes, the turkey. Another one that everyone loves to bring up. Yeah, there's been a couple that I have used multiple plates just because I didn't really know what else to do.
Mostly you like to do single plates.
Yeah, I do.
And I noticed they're this standard size.
Yes.
Some people use really big. Have you ever tried that? The big ones?
Yes, this one was actually on a little bit bigger one.
Yeah.
But typically they are just the standard, normal plate size.
So this is part of the Agar Art Contest of ASM. So there are other Agar artists out there besides yourself now. It's very popular. Do you know any of them?
Personally, no. I'm getting in contact with a lot of them. A lot of people like to send me their images.
Yeah.
I love seeing people's work. I think it's so cool that other people are doing this now. Because this was weird for me. I was not comfortable posting these in the beginning, and now it's just blown up into this weirdly big thing.
Well, we should point out that your Instagram account, which is stylish_streaking,
yes.
right? Stylish_streaking, streaking as in this kind of streaking, right? Has 35,000 followers.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's something.
I thought I was doing good with 1,100. And that just happened organically. You just put pictures there and it started happening.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We have a question on Facebook.
Yes, we have a question on Facebook from Carolina Busto Stack. She's asking how you can do all of the agar art in detail on a Petri plate without contamination.
Ooh.
It's a good question.
Not that there isn't ever contamination. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times there will be. It's just, I guess, kind of slow and steady wins the race on this one. I mean, like you had asked before if I have any that don't work. Absolutely. There will be ones where, they'll have stuff growing in little spots that you don't want, so.
And we have one more from Carolina Bustos again. She's asking, she loves Chroma Agar, do you use that for your agar art?
I wish. So, I mean, I'm very limited on what we can use because it's just what I have available where I work. And what is very interesting, especially with the popularity now and with the Agar Art Contest and the people who submit, is you do see some really amazing colors because we have all these new kinds of Chroma Agar that people can use. And so I don't. I mean, we have a couple different kinds, but not many. So, you know, everyone has like, it's like the kids who got the new box of, you know, 180 crayons, and I've got a black and red Sharpie.
It's okay, it works. So this is do you ever think of it this way? This is kind of an unusual art because it doesn't last forever. It's not like a sculpture or a painting. The plates dry out, right?
Yes.
And you throw them out.
Yeah.
But you do have the picture.
Yeah.
Is that part of what you like about it, you think?
I guess I never really thought of it that way. I mean, once it's done and I get the picture, I just throw it out. And that's it.
I also notice on Instagram you post pictures of microbes and you have explanations. So not just art, but saying this is such and such and this is what it does. You like to do that as well, right?
Yes, and I love that more than anything because I basically have been using the Agar art as a tool now to kind of get people in and use this as more of kind of an educational aspect.
We have a question here, yes.
All right, hi, my name's Megan. I actually do Agar art as well. I started doing it as part of a citizen science project with some of our students at a local community college in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I actually was wondering if you make palettes with your bacteria to kind of work with them off of I use like an art palette with mine, and if you kind of do something similar, or if you have another manner of kind of keeping them organized.
It's funny.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, for the most part, like I said, I like to make the saline suspensions with mine, but I definitely have had a plate with growth on it and just kind of felt like I was painting, yeah.
I kind of envisioned you with a rack of tubes.
That's exactly what it is.
Dipping in.
Yep.
We have to film this one day and see how it happens. That would be a good story. Could we come out and film you doing this?
Yes.
Which brings me to an important question. You doing this, are your bosses okay with this?
Two of my bosses are right over there, actually.
Are you okay with all this? Yeah, you are. Obviously, they wouldn't let you do it. And
no, yeah, my supervisors know. My manager actually gets like mom proud of me when I told her about this whole thing. So
wonderful. What brings you to Microbe 2017?
Well, I came to Microbe 2 years ago when we were here in New Orleans again, and I loved the experience, and I felt like I didn't get to see enough of it then. So I really wanted to come back and be able to do it over.
And there are clearly some other Agar artists here. You have to find each other. Maybe someday you can have a session, and you can teach people how to do Agar art. That would be pretty cool. In the end, though, why do you do this? Why do you do Agar art?
I do it because I enjoy it, and now I do it because other people enjoy it, and I love that I have people asking me for advice on how to get into the field and get into careers, and it's just a lot of gratification from it.
Do you consider yourself an artist?
I mean, not really. I don't.
Do you ever think of doing other media besides bacteria, like maybe viruses?
If I knew how to do that.
You know, you could do a plaque and use the area that the virus is in to make your design.
See, I would just need a virologist to show me how to do that.
I'm available for consultation.
All right, we will discuss.
Any other questions before we say goodbye? My guest today has been Caitlin Saha from the Milwaukee Diagnostic Laboratories. Where can people find your photographs?
So they are all on Instagram. It's the only account I have. I don't quite understand Twitter. So, but yeah, everything's on Instagram under Stylish Streaking. Instagram.com/stylish_streaking. It's really worth checking out. I want to thank the audience and those online
for their questions, and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I'm Vincent Racaniello. This has been ASM Live at Microbe 2017. There'll be more of these broadcasts throughout today and the next few days of this conference. The next one, in fact, coming up is Early African American Microbiologists Making Contributions, Overcoming Barriers. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Vincent Racaniello.
They tell you to put your chin right there.
I became an ASM member in 1981.
95?
Since 2008.
I joined ASM in 1974.
I've been an ASM member for 41 years.
I first became a member in 1989. Seems like all my career.
I'm willing to bet it's a decade.
My first ASM was 1993. I still have a picture of me holding the program open, sitting on the hotel room bed, really excited because for the first time ever I saw my name in print associated with microbiology.
When I was a graduate student at Purdue in 1980, it was the thing. I mean, if you were going to be a microbiologist, you joined the ASM. It was just really that simple.
ASM is very special to me because I became a member in 2002, and when I first attended the meeting at Salt Lake City, Utah, I met my PhD thesis mentor, Dr. Arturo Casadevall. And so ASM kind of introduced me to the PhD world.
Definitely the most important thing is that ASM has provided me with a graduate fellowship. So they've helped support me during my graduate training. In addition, I've gotten a lot of networking opportunities and I've met a lot of really great people through ASM.
And we can share our work and connect, and they can teach me things that I don't know and I can teach them things that they don't know. And just that partnership and working together, that's what scientists do, to share your work. And it's the most exciting thing to learn about new projects.
ASM has actually done a whole lot of work and given me the kind of exposure I wouldn't have had if I'm not a member of ASM.
Many brains are better than one.
Great thing. It's really member-driven organization. I love that. I've always loved that.
Could make the bigger the better, the more the merrier.
You want to do microbiology, become a member.